and
Someone
is
just caught us. We've been
oh.
muted all this time. Oh my God, we've been muted all this time. Sharon, you know what that means, don't you?
um
We're not
I'm
going to be able to say what we said before.
exactly. We have to start with, "Hi, I am Sharon or Zare,
And I'm
and
Imar. That's too funny. That's too funny.
and because you were someplace else doing
Well,
some
we were
well,
here,
we
but
were
of
here.
course, yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were here working on something else, and I was trying to hold down the fort.
Mm-hmm.
Um we didn't know because we could not see that we were muted. We didn't get back over there at that particular time.
No,
And
we were
so
doing something else. So what are we saying? You were going to give us, if you can stop sneezing, you're
I
going to
know.
bad time too.
I know. I hate that too.
I don't know why all of a sudden you did either. So.
It's just
Well, give us a vision statement because we have our guests in the background. We're so glad to see our guests being there. So give us a
yes.
vision statement, and then we can kind of move from there.
Okay.
I got to get this thing that says muted off of there. I don't know where he has that at, but
And I'm going to stop sneezing any minute now.
mhm.
But we are going to relate. It doesn't matter what our mother, father, or anybody else says. We
Okay.
are going to relate. And at taking the journey together, what we try to instill in people, or what we strive to instill in people, is the idea of relating in a balanced way.
Mm-hmm.
And what we mean by that is, in most situations, people have friends and they have lovers, but they will either marry their friend or they will marry their lover, but they won't find the friendship and the lovership in the to have with one person and marry that person, so they have the friend and the lover together.
In the lover and the friend, and the friend and the lover. That sounds so
Exactly.
difficult.
It isn't.
It just sounds
But that,
difficult.
and that's probably why most people choose one or the other, because it
Mhm.
sounds difficult to have both in one.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
don't take all that. Hey.
Which is it is not. And I have been in situations where it was one or the other, and
Mm-hmm.
it always seemed like something was missing.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. Well, let's bring her in. She looks like she's quite fed up in the background. She's already glamored it all up, and I'm pretty sure she got all her makeup on, and all of her entourage have said it's okay to let her go. Here she goes right now. You want to go ahead and tell her name? Tell her
And
about
hopefully you will remember her from last time.
it. Yes.
We have Lateta with us, and
She got an L at the end.
yes, Miss
Wow.
L.
Wow.
Just gonna call you Miss L.
Hey, 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 I'm not wearing makeup. This is the full me.
This is the full
Yes.
you. Wow.
Hey, well, the full you looks very good.
Yeah, yes,
Yes.
it
Thank
does.
you. Thank
You know,
you.
the full you doesn't need makeup.
She could if she wanted to.
Exactly.
Well, I know that, but
Exactly.
you
Tell that to my daughter.
Your daughter is just waiting for you to blow up so she can make some money on for her own cosmetic makeup business.
yes,
That's what she's doing. She's a smart lady.
it's amazing how, we, when our daughters live with us, we have to be their guinea pigs.
Right? Right? That is so true. That is so
Everything they try out on us. So
Yes. Oh my goodness, that is so true. Very true. Steal the
So
guinea
what?
pig. Steal the guinea pig.
Yeah, no matter how that. So tell me. I know during the time there was a time our sound was off and we was really getting to the meat of things. Were you able to hear us in the back?
No, I was not. So what I did was I put my earbuds in, like, maybe they're in my earbuds. Let me put them in, and I still
Oh, wow. So, okay. So that means when we had her so when she's in the back room, or they have her in the back room,
Yeah.
she can't hear in the first place. But we were muted for whatever reasons,
yeah,
and so a lot of stuff we were talking
we
about
won't say what.
didn't quite come out. But we were talking about a little bit of the idea of what was it again?
Compliment.
Compliment. And Sharon was saying that she thought compliment was something that it was for the other half, something like that, another piece, another part, something like that.
No, I was saying that it's something that,
Come on now.
well, I'm saying what I was
Mm-hmm,
saying.
mm-hmm.
It's something that enhances or makes better.
No, you didn't say
Or,
that.
well,
No, you were talking about it in such a way as it's usually used compliment. They usually use that on a couple that usually seems to be very different from one another, which is why we started the dualism thing. And then we say,
Yeah,
oh, they make a good complement to one another. But we found out that complement doesn't necessarily mean it's related to two people who are opposite, doesn't necessarily mean
no.
it relates to two people who are working together the same. A complement is something to do with this was good. This was
Hmm.
okay. So just like a lot of us probably did when we were younger, our little baby was, I'll just speak on my own experience, my own story. I remember the first time I was trying to get one of my daughters to speak and say, Dad, Dad. And I went over and over again. And, pretty soon the little mouth moves that way. And, that's after the fifth day. But anyway, and then on the sixth day, you try again. And
Well,
lo and behold, her mouth forms and out of nowhere, Dad, something like that. And you go, oh my God. You give her a whole bunch of compliments and stuff. So
yes,
that's another example of what a compliment is. So it's really
yes.
not about trying to emphasize the opposite into, let's say,
Mm,
accent the
yes,
opposite. It's really about how, if out of that relationship, even if you are opposite, is there something good coming out of it?
yeah,
Is there something you could give a good compliment? And
yeah.
that's what that was all
And
about.
and I never. The funny thing is, I never connected compliment with opposite.
Mm.
I never did.
Let's ask a resident expert who's on the phone with everybody in the world every day. What do you think about that? What we just got to kind of spit out there?
Well, about compliment, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So with and this is going to be just a bit unorthodox, but to me, it's like graham crackers and coffee,
Mm.
right? Sometimes there are two things that don't necessarily go together,
Hmm.
but they work.
Hmm. 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 Yes, yes. I'm only shaking my head because I would never put graham crackers with
I know.
coffee ever, ever. From that particular. So those who have graham crackers and coffee, good luck to you
Yeah.
if you got that one. But though you just proved that that's how we usually use that word when it's two different items, things. And I don't know about energies. We won't get into that as of yet. But usually human beings, and we usually say if they're opposite, and it seems like they at least that particular day are still in the presence of one another, or we watch how they may act, we'll say they're a compliment to one another.
Hmm.
But the actual definition of the compliment doesn't have to be really need to be connected to a person,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
Or sometimes not even to a living being.
Hmm.
Some people might compliment a work that was done. It was a physical building that you built, and you give him compliment how well he did to build that building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you think about that angle? Adding compliment in that kind of way. It's not necessarily attached to people.
Well, yeah, like you said, it could be the work that was done, which by proxy is attached to that person regardless anyway,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. See, and I always thought of it as if two people are working on, say, a project or something like that, and their ideas mesh, their ideas come together to make um to make something wonderful. That's, to me, that's a compliment. They're a compliment for each other.
Well, I would hope under thriving and balanced relationships that if we apply some of those principles in life, it would be a wonderful and
Hmm.
beautiful thing that comes out of it.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're wasting our time. And I'm getting ready to turn off the buttons now and go home.
Yeah.
No,
I hate to burst your bubble.
what?
You're already at home.
Oh, you're not supposed to tell folks that. So we're kind of joking, but when you think about that, if the ends doesn't justify the means, like in this particular case, we really strongly believe that thriving and balanced relationships
Mm,
based on friendship and all the elements,
yeah.
that if after the end of it or while you're working in it, it doesn't bring that kind of what you just got through talking about, at least what, three-quarters of the time, or maybe half the time, maybe less than that. Anyway, sometime
Yeah.
manifestation. Then
It
what?
needs to
Then
be
what a
more
wait?
than
What a
that.
waste of
Yes.
time.
Yes.
I myself see that if it's practice, the elements, it will come to pass that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will.
I have to agree with that one.
Mm.
Definitely.
What's your thoughts? You and I have talked a lot about in this kind of area and many other things. What's your thoughts about that, Miss Latita? Before we
You
get into our subject.
no, you said you were talking about the balance.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Concerning balance is different for everyone, right? Um, some people give full one day, then that same day in the same relationship, somebody gives 10, balances it out. One day you may give 30%, she may have 840. There's no 100% to anything. The
No,
numbers
there's
are
something.
infinite.
Yeah, there's no such thing as perfect.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I said there's no such thing as perfect. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, balance. That's an exclusive comes. Oh my goodness, is that my? I'm sorry. That's an exclusive concept. Um, it like calmness could be someone's chaos if they've never experienced it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Balance and
Mm-hmm.
calmness is, that's their balance. Not being calm is, you know what I mean. Like I said, balance is an exclusive concept. Not everything is balanced like they show on TV, like, oh, it's 50-50 and it's 100-150. No, that's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. One
Somebody.
day you come in and you're giving 87,000% in your
Mm-hmm.
mind, and she's giving 200, but that's what works for you.
And that would be one stage of describing a balance. That's one thing for sure. Would you not say?
I would definitely say so.
But not everybody even operates that way.
Right, right.
Some people are operating more 100%, and the other person is no percent. Someone is always sometimes operating 60%, and the other one 40% all the time, day after day, month after month.
Yeah.
There is no balance involved with that.
Well, see, here it is. With even with the 60-40, and if that's how they are, that's their balance. That's what I'm saying. That's exclusive to them.
And in the sake of a thriving and balanced relationship, if the results are not showing thrivingness and healthiness, I say and believe that that kind of balance is out of balance for
Well,
them,
see, here we
and
go.
especially and it's for them and anyone else who follows that kind of path. Since nothing is really perfect, then every day we are trying to balance our life between that which we believe, that which we feel, and what our spirit gives to us. Some of us are better in balancing it than others.
But to a certain
Okay.
extent, won't that go back to the idea of dualism? And I hate to keep
No, you don't.
popping back to that,
No, you don't.
but where where we talk about complement,
Hmm.
where the the parts that are meshing are not necessarily 50-50.
Why would you think that they would be?
Because well, I'm talking about with like the 60-40, where and I couldn't see anybody being
What happens if in your relationship you are trying to give 150 and the other person can give 150? Because that's possible,
well,
especially when it comes to synchronicity.
okay, but would that be 100% of the time?
And probably may not be.
Okay. All right.
I don't think there's one hard, fast formula. At least I don't
Mhm.
know if those
Yeah.
mathematic people might come up with some kind of
Yeah.
mathematical formula through what they call quantum theory. But I don't think, because I don't believe things are perfect, that you
Right.
can find something that's stable about it. But
Mhm.
working towards a
Yeah.
thriving and balanced relationship, which is what this is all about,
Mhm.
is what we're
And
trying to
and
do.
and that's and that I agree with, but the 60-40, I can't see somebody only being 40% all the time. All the time.
That was just an example.
Okay. And okay, so
So now you're pushing me to be what, 50% more on now in this?
no, we're striving to be
Is that what you were
50.
trying to find a
Yeah, we're
balance?
trying we're
We're not
trying
even
to
on the
we're
subject
trying to
right now.
mesh.
We're not
So
even we're not even on the subject. So at the same time, we went that far. Dualism we ended yesterday.
I know, but
Uh,
it was the balance part that we were talking about.
Well, we're
Yeah.
trying. By the way, did you get a chance to even listen to the last one? Though we missed
No,
you.
no, no. Yesterday was interesting.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to get off topic, but it was really, 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 really,
Really
really,
interesting.
I
Interesting.
can really times 100,000 times interesting. So
Okay.
yeah, it was out of sorts. So I didn't do anything yesterday for the first time in my life in years.
Years. Oh wow. Well,
Wow.
you remember, we do have ours in the archive. Let me look at the camera. And at the
Oh
same
yes,
time,
I'm definitely going to check
and
out.
it's last week. It was last week anyway, so it was
Well, I'm
nothing that
definitely
you.
going to check out the archives. But yeah, yesterday was.
Yeah.
If did I say really? Yeah, really.
Yeah, you did at least 4 times. I was kind of counting them. I was saying it's getting kind of out of balance there when she. No, I'm just joking. You know, I'm gonna give you a hard time over that now. But today we're trying to talk about how does environments affect our relationships?
Yes.
Do environments reflect? I mean, affect our relationships? And we looked at the environment in connection to three portions or three pieces in our relationships. And it comes under the heading of, and we don't talk about this much as we should, spirituality, relationship, and environment.
Hmm.
We believe those are three large pieces that have to do with the influence of us as beings or human beings. Some people call it SRE. Have you ever heard that before?
Okay, you said spirituality
Relationships and environment. Some people
and
call that,
environment.
yes,
Environment.
environment.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, some people call it SRE, I guess, in the psychological world. And they, they call it that.
Everything is reduced to
D-
a letter or two.
don't start because we have hot. Hey, by
I
the
know.
way, we have
Hot.
hot. The hot button. What is
Uh,
it? Oh, there it is. By the way, what does it stand for, Latita?
Honest, open, transparent.
Yay!
Oh, we're sending her a button today.
Yes.
I'm going to make that button transferred over there today. Don't. I'm not to remember to send that to her. Wow, wow.
Yes.
You know, we're looking for one day to come to somebody's church, somebody's town, somebody's any place and teach a more in-depth study
Yes.
on the hot principle.
Hot.
There's a lot more to it when it comes to being open. I mean, honest, open, and transparent. It really is.
Hmm.
We place so many masks. We put on so many masks. We have so many layers. Some good, some bad. I mean, some balanced, some unbalanced in between. That just operating that way, it seems like who
Yes.
does that from the day? And you definitely can't do it every day, all the
No.
time.
No.
But it's definitely a balanced goal that we should work toward, especially in relationships.
Hmm.
Very, very important from
Yeah.
that end. So we'd love to come and talk to you more about it because we have a lot of information on it, a lot of good testimonies when it comes to our principles. So anyway, we're back to spirituality, relationship, and environment. I'm going to ask somebody a question, and Sharon got the question first before we got on the show, so you get the question. I feel good having two smart ladies on both on well one here in and this end. We have to get some more. I have to get a guy to even this out and balance this out now. I need to get a guy on this.
Oh, you know you love
Well,
it.
I do. I mean, as
That's
long as you
okay.
don't get on me too bad. Someone already said before, the lady I was with before said, he's too macho. He don't never give me anything to say. Remember? I'm like, man, you're a young whippersnapper. But anyway, um, um, what spirituality to you? Yeah, there it is. What is spirituality to you?
Oh wow. For me, I can only speak personally. Spirituality is the breath inhaled and exhaled. It's the breath taken. It
Mm-hmm.
encompasses the all because the breath encompasses everything. You say air, I say breath. It encompasses the world, the space, the non-space. That's what spirituality is for me.
Okay. Wow,
Yes,
that's a mouthful. It is.
it is.
Okay. And I'm looking at you next.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it is, um, and I'm thinking about well, okay, I'm just going to say what it is. To me, it is the going inside and connecting with your inner being and expressing and experiencing life from that standpoint.
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Let me look over and see what I have as a feeling with that. Oh, sorry, folks. It's time for a commercial.
Nope, we've got a little bit of time left.
We will discuss what I think. I know you're waiting for it too. And so after the commercial, then I'll tell you how I feel, what I think spirituality is. So
You
just stay
see,
tuned.
you did
We
it.
will be right back. That's all right. We'll be right back. Okay. I knew we'd come right back. We are going to go to another commercial another time. And that's because Sharon said, I want to hear the answer.
Now.
I don't think that's balanced.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I don't see why, because you're forcing me to have to give an answer.
Oh,
And
I'm
she's
not.
looking the same way too. I
You
think
know
it's
what?
unbalanced.
No. See,
That's two against one. I don't like that.
we're not forcing, but here's where the balance comes
What?
in. The balance comes in that you put us on the spot
I didn't
directly.
put you on the spot. I just asked the question. I just took this position as one of the hosts and moderator. You could have. You know you want to ask that question anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Okay. Give me. Okay. I'm not going to give the answer yet. How's that?
Come
Please.
on, we've been waiting with bated breath.
No, no. She said if we could do what we want, I'm going to give the answer when I want to. Ha ha. How's that for you? Is that spiritual enough for you? No, I'm just joking.
No. now, now I'm gonna sit here and sound like a little kid. No.
Let's give some testimonies of some others who feel and think about spirituality.
Okay.
And let's see what some of them say. And then we'll give mine last.
Okay.
Okay. Why don't you read one of them because we got it written up there.
Okay. Spirituality has so many different definitions these days, but the way I have experienced it in the most tangible way in my own life is through relationship, a feeling of being at one or in harmony with the universe, God, and with each other.
Mm, okay. Wow. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
She was basically saying that to her, spirituality had to do with the tangibility of relationship.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think of relationship many times from a spiritual point of view? Because I know a lot of people don't. Latita, yeah, I'm looking at you. Yeah, you can see me.
From a spiritual, yes, I do. Personally, yes, I do.
Okay.
I
Okay.
really do. I have had two spiritual deaths and also two spiritual risings from relationships. So,
Mm. And I'm glad that you brought that up. We don't always dive that direction. And this is the second or third time we do. We put the foundation of spirituality on the rest of the blocks. I'm not trying to be too preachy or too religious from that particular end, but
Bless you.
thank you. There's no doubt about it. A lot of people don't necessarily connect that at all. They don't connect relationship with.
well, it's about keeping an open mind too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people who are in what we call, and say the word right because I usually get it wrong. What kind of relationship?
Surviving.
Surviving relationships.
I almost said what you
I,
said.
I know, I know, I saw that. A lot of people who are in surviving relationship, they would not make that connection. Nope, nope.
And that's part of the reason why, because they they're not seeing the um the highest, they're not seeing their relationship in the highest format or form, or I know what I'm trying to say, but it's not coming out. They're not, it's just regular. They don't see it as anything special. That
Okay.
and so, why would, because most people who connect, who connect in the realm of spirituality with anything or anyone, they see it as special
Mm-hmm.
because they see spirituality as special.
Yeah, but don't we in society, since we're talking about environment, how it affects, this is what this is
Hmm.
all about. Don't we in society connect this idea of relationship, and we connect it through things like you got to have a certificate or document that proves that when it comes to relationship called marriage. Don't hold on. Don't we also have people that say that when it comes to my relationship, um, um, I'm not, getting on any religion, but many times they'll say that you need to get married or connected to this idea of spirituality, because a lot of people graft both spirituality and religion together and say, well, for that to happen, then I have to get, married through the church or get married through my religion. And therefore, I'm getting married through my religion, which is a spirituality. And I see that as being a connection. What about those folks? Do you feel they're true to that, or what?
Being true to that,
And those, do you feel
and
that, do they really feel this is something spiritual that they're connecting to in this relationship?
some do and some don't. Some think of it as a formality.
Mm,
This is just something that has to be done in order for it to be legal. And spirituality has nothing to do with it.
wow.
I hate doing that. I don't know why I
Okay.
did it.
Did you get married through the state way? By the way, I'm sorry. I married. I'm sorry. I
What
apologize.
Did
what
that
are,
last
what are you
Yeah,
what
we
are you
did.
apologizing for?
Yeah, you forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, I know. I forgot. Come on, I'm getting old. Okay. So did you get married through the formal way that we're talking about, the paperwork and all that stuff?
Yeah, literally just went to the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Because of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
My whole stance is I'm not going to spend $10,000 on a dress. I'm not going to spend $4,000 on a cake.
Mm-hmm.
That money can be either put into savings or we can reinvest that in something more lucrative
Mm-hmm.
for our future. That's just me. So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see,
I agree.
but both of you are now just walking into that place where people may not use the idea of religion or spirituality to make their connection in that area of relationship because of the outside environment. And then some who will, because they say, according to the church that I go to, in order for me to have this relationship, then my environment says, my church environment or my spiritual environment, whichever you want to flop, it says, I must do this through this way. And so to
Hmm.
them, that's why it's connected. To them, they
Yeah.
would say, my relationship is together because God put this together, my belief of who God is through my particular church. What do you say to people like that who do that? Both,
Well,
any one of you.
Well, I, if they say that and that's what they believe, then that's fine, and that's good. My my first time around, I was like you, gonna I was ready to go to the justice of the peace and go to the courthouse and just say, okay, sign on the dotted line and whatever has to be done. Um, my mother refused,
Mm,
and so we ended up getting married at church, but it was only like five people there. So it was one of those things that the place didn't make a difference to me.
mm-hmm,
The number of people that were there did not make a difference to me. And it, to be honest with you,
mm-hmm,
I don't think it, I don't believe it had the spiritual connotation connected to it just because we got married in the church
mm-hmm,
that ours did. getting married on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make a difference that we were in the church, that the spirituality was not in the forefront.
Mm.
It was it was what it was, which is another term I hate.
And the only reason why I'm not going to try to harp on it is only because this first definition, this first testimony was based on to them. Spirituality
Mhm.
was a relationship,
Yeah.
harmony in the
Yeah.
relationship, where they were talking about with the universal God. So I don't know if it's the usual kind of doctrine that churches
Mhm.
that are out there that are the standard ones, or it was something that was unity or of a non-denominational kind of
Yeah.
spirituality belief set, but they said at least one God
And
from that end.
and when they say through relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know if they're saying a one-to-one committed
Mm-hmm.
relationship, as in marriage, or committed relationship or something like that long term, or if they're talking about through relationship as far as um having friends, meeting up with people,
Mm-hmm.
having interaction with people. A lot of times that's considered relationship also.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been something as informal from the standpoint of not relationship where we go home together all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but we meet at this place, or we, you know,
Mm.
come together that way.
Okay. It looks like it looks like you're probably itching to say something. Am I wrong? Oh, we can't hear you anyway. I think your voice is down. I mean, your voice is down. Your your speakers are down. Something like that. Yeah,
We still can't
it
hear
still
you.
can't hear you. Wow.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
Gotcha
now.
now.
Okay, okay, okay,
You
okay.
must have
That
put
was
yourself on mute.
my no, accidentally hit mic. I was like, oh gosh, I hit mic. No.
You hit the mic, all right, and it fell. So, I was saying you were itching to say something after Sharon said what she was saying from that end.
Well,
Did
no,
you?
I mean, because she's right. It's exclusive for spirituality is an exclusive concept for the person.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they get it ordained by, God, Allah, Baphomet, turkey sandwich, tree, spaghetti, whatever they believe in, whatever
We
they
did
believe
not
in.
say that. Not every
You
views
know,
of on taking the journey are
people
of the
believe in different
station or
things.
anyone else who's listening to. I just want to let you know that is our disclaimer.
But whatever they believe in, and it's and that's all right. That's all right. But it's how a person is grounded, what they grew up in, again, with their environment. Some change, some don't. I changed. I grew up in a church, literally grew up in the church. And my epiphany came when I was a teenager, because my grandfather never went. And his father
Mm.
founded a church, which was just really odd, right? But he
Mm.
never
Mm.
went. He called them fireside pimps.
Oh.
Right. So he told
That's
me when I
another
was a teenager,
disclaimer.
he said, you don't have to go. He said, you don't have to go if you really don't believe. He said, don't
Mhm.
be a false attender.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
was like, what? He said, don't go if you don't believe, like the rest of them. I was like, oh, okay. Cause I was just going because, I was told to go. And a
Mhm.
lot of us in our lives, we're carrying on a tradition that some don't even believe anymore. But because our grandmama and them and everybody did it, we don't want to be chastised. We don't want to be
Mhm.
disavowed. We
Or
carry on
different.
this tradition.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, folks, I am hopefully we're not saying because you have religion or you use spirituality as your connection, as her testimony said, at least spoken, that says to you that represents, in this case, harmony or represents God or spirituality. I would hope that, let's go on to the next one before we come to that.
And
I like her testimony. I'll be honest with you from that
yes.
end. I just know
Yes.
not many people will connect that way
Right.
in
Right.
relationships. That's all. So you want me to read the next one?
Sure.
In thinking of what spirituality means to me at this point in life, I think of it primarily as the experience of learning to live into the most alive and genuine vision of who
Version.
version of who I was created to be. What you think about that one? What do you think about that one,
Latita.
Latia?
Wow. Okay. In terms of spirituality, living and who you were, see that, yeah, I would relate that to spirituality, becoming the best version or living the best version of yourself moment by moment, because no one promised me a day.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So living in that moment and becoming better in that within that moment and creating moments with other people you interact with, yeah, I can see that. That's one point for me.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm hearing a young guy right now saying that's dope. That's dope. Okay, okay. You once you read the last one, then
Okay.
mm-hmm.
I have noticed that the most spiritual times for me happen in natural places that I have grown to know, places that I have visited, been drawn back to, and built relationships with. Within this getting to know practice, I can only describe the feeling of deep contentment and relationship as falling in love with that place. Further, falling in love with the greater world.
Mm. Woo.
Wow.
Wow. So that last um testim
Moni.
testimony, excuse me. So we're talking, Latita, what do you think?
I tend to agree again. When you're talking about nature, literally you're talking about yourself. Can't
Mhm.
spell nature without you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So literally NATUURE. But
Mm-hmm.
that connection is so profound. That's where I get my greatest rest and my greatest resurrection
In nature.
is from nature.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
My
Mm-hmm.
clarity comes
Yes.
from nature. I can go outside and sit, and my little rabbit bunny friends will, when it's not cold, they'll come up and we'll just reflect. And just the greatest of clarity comes from there. There's no convolution, there's nothing. It's just me and them and the air, which is my spirit. You see what I'm saying? So,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And nature has a way to bring that retreat, which usually times when they do the best retreats, they usually are in nature,
Yes. Yeah.
and that therapy that you need to bounce things off of you.
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily with another human being. It's within the vastness of nature. I know many times when I stayed 14,000 feet and higher up in Denver, when I was to travel there and take some of those Airbnbs way up on the mountain, and it's so pristine. As for the air, it was so clean. And
Mm,
at the same time, you were I would stay at a place where right across from me were like large mountains. I can see them right now, and the mountains that were
mm,
standing in front of you,
Mhm.
you knew that they've been there longer than what your
Yeah.
imagination on this earth, at least at that time, could think of. They were there for hundreds of thousands of years,
Mhm.
not moving, and the energy of magistry
Mhm.
is definitely felt. The energy is very tangible. Where I would sit out there and have breakfast in the morning from that end, and it felt like you were actually engrossed in eternity itself from there. So, how much closer can you get to what I would call eternity than what you can get from nature, as long as it's been
Exactly.
there much longer than you? What's your
Exactly.
kind of experiences when you go down and we go down to the beaches and ocean?
When I go to the beach, it is like the water welcomes me. And you know that we
mm,
can stand close to the water and it comes to us no
Hmm.
matter what's going on.
Hmm.
But it's like it says, I'm so glad you're here and I have missed you, because it just comes right up. And as it's coming up, I can feel its energy. And every time I go to the beach when it's warm enough, I have to put my feet in it. I have to put my feet in the water. And it's like there's this grounding and this cleansing that happens all at the same time. It's one of the reasons I love the beach so much. So
Oh yeah,
much.
she turns to a island girl when she gets near water. She, you
My
know,
whole demeanor changes.
exactly, yeah, exactly. You kind of walk away from me. Anyway,
It's calling me, and I'm sorry, but
I
it
noticed that.
calls
I
me.
noticed that you
You
get to the water and you play in the water, kick in the water, and go, all right, from
Well,
that
see,
end.
that could be her element,
Oh,
right?
well, we're actually the water is both our elements. We love it.
Yeah.
We absolutely love it.
Yes.
I rather scuba dive in it and boat in it. I'll be honest with you. But
And I can't even swim, but I cannot stay away
no,
from the
but
ocean. So
we taught you this from that one
yeah,
time,
yeah, we
and we bought some
I'm
tires and
I'm
sit
I'm
in it.
I'm doing okay. I still get in it. It's my place.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so we usually like to do a breathing technique when we go to the
Mhm.
ocean, um, which basically is just as simple. You could try it for your own self. By the way, we pretty much hand to hand, and then we close our eyes, and then we take 10 breaths out through the mouth and in through the nose, and you try to then from there make sure you concentrate on the environment around you,
Mm.
especially through your ears because your eyes is closed.
The sounds of the water,
Exactly.
the breezes around you,
Yeah.
the smells of what's going on. All of those things are important, and they become more pronounced, more um
More real.
yes,
Yeah.
more definitely more real.
Definitely. And after you do it about 10 times and you open up your eyes, the view that's in front of you, you are able to see much deeper and richer colors. You are able to
Mhm.
see things much more clearer. There is like a less stress that was there before that's not on you. You feel like that you're almost lost into time or in the moment of now. After you do something, it's a good way to rejuvenate yourself. It's a good way to use water as an energy to basically a cleansing, as many people
Exactly.
do, and many folks through years from different cultures have used that from that end. And
Mhm.
I would say, again, as for nature, that's another way for you to say it's experience of spirituality. This
Yes.
was a spiritual experience that I had. Hey,
Yes.
let's talk real quickly because the show's over. We
Let's
lost
do
our
let's
guest
do
too.
the other commercial, and then we come back
No,
in.
no, I'm going to do this commercial. This commercial we're going to do is going to tell a little bit about ourselves, where they can
Okay.
get to us. Once you go right ahead, right there.
Okay. Uh when we You can also meet us on or listen to us on WRUU on Saturday mornings
But not
at
at that time.
9 o'clock.
Hmm.
And that's WRUU radio station 107.5
Hmm.
from 9 to 10 a.m.
And I'm gonna get a regular one out here. I'm hoping to get T back. She just kind of lost her.
L.
Excuse me, lost her. Latita back.
Yeah.
She lost her connection, so hopefully
Yes.
she'll get back in. Go ahead.
And you can also see us on River Street every third weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we are doing a arts and crafts and entertainment festival. We're always looking for arts and crafts vendors. If you're interested, you can call us at 912-495-8838. That's 912-495-8838.
Oh yeah.
And the other place that you can find us is um, in February.
What's going on in February?
In February at 7 o'clock, we
What?
will be at the Liquid Cafe. It's a Friday
Whoa.
night for our TTJT Wow date night. It's going to be the first
Really?
one we've had in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to start that back up again.
We are.
Yes,
I wonder if I could get that. You think I could?
you can go to our website um
Hold on, I
on
see it. Hold on. Right there. Is that something right there? Yeah.
yeah,
Just put it up there for a second.
you can
All
go
right.
you can go to our oh, that's hard to say. Go to our website at takingthejourney-together.com,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find out all the information about it. That's the Wow Date Night Special event. Takingthejourney-together.com to find that information. And you will also, there's the prices on there, and we're going to be focusing on hot, of course.
One of the main things you're forgetting is Alderman
I'm
Keisha.
Alderwoman
Yes, Alderwoman Keisha. And who else?
Keisha Gibson Carter and her husband Sam Carter will be our special guests at that event.
So you got to come out if you love Mrs. Keisha, Alderman Keisha Carter and her husband. You got to come out and visit. They're going to be a special what?
Our special guest
Special
couple.
couple. So they'll probably have a
Yes.
lot of good things to say about the community and, of course, by themselves in the relationship. We're honored to see her come with us and be part of one of our events that we do. So you got to come out, enjoy yourself. It's going to be very intimate. It's going to be about you getting to know
Yes.
one another in your other particular environment and community around you. But first, it's got to start with your relationship and how much you want to start being closer
Absolutely.
together in that relationship.
Yes. And so
Okay.
so we'll bring out some very special things um about you in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing.
Exactly.
And looking forward to it. I'm so excited about it.
Are you that excited?
I am. I'm definitely that excited.
Oh wow! I'm glad to see you excited. I really
Yes.
am. I'm gonna put the banner
Yes.
down here while you're continue
Exactly. So
on.
this way you can go on the website
I hate the
and
fact that
find
we
out more
we
about
we
it.
missed Elle.
Yes.
She just like disappeared and she ain't
Latita
never
just
coming
fell
back.
right out.
She ain't never coming back. It looks like
Yeah.
I'm never coming back. Why is she not coming back? Any idea?
I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe she must have had um,
What? Some problems
some
with her?
technical problems because she was in the process of stalling and then coming back in. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully she'll get it all squared away and she'll come back before we actually close out.
Yeah, I'm gonna show this at the bottom right here so they can see it.
Yes. Liquid Cafe for post Valentine date night on Friday, February 24th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Check out takingthejourney-together.com.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to get the what I should have did was the phone number while you're talking, and just in case that they have any more other questions.
Well, okay.
Hmm.
That will work too. Um and so so yeah, that's one of those things that we're putting that together. And
We're excited about it too.
oh, we are. And it is definitely we have a limited number of couples
Yeah.
that
How many
can be in
couples
this one.
do you think that we're
uh
looking at?
our 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 absolute top number is 15.
Is what?
15 couples.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's 15 couples.
Who said that? Man,
I thought you did.
I did.
I thought
How
you
did I
did.
do that? Oh yeah, it is 15. I
Yeah.
forgot.
And so and and so we
I just put up there. There's a
yeah,
telephone
the
number at the
phone
bottom.
number to call also for more information if
Yeah,
necessary.
leave your name
Nine
and
one two 200 7798.
yeah, leave your name and your
Phone
short
number.
message, and we'll get back with you. It's going to be a very enjoyable
Yes.
movie night. Some of the stuff you hear now, we'll hear some more, but they're going to want to hear from you. It's a chance for you to get to know your relationship better, strengthen it itself, and get a chance to enjoy a nice meal and all the different games and stuff we're going to play
Yes. And
to
a few
strengthen it.
surprises.
Oh yeah,
A
there'll
few
be definitely,
surprises.
definitely,
So
definitely.
we're always ready for these.
Well, we're coming close to the end of this. I'm sure
Yes.
Miss Latita is gone, but she was talking about and our
But we
last
still
time.
didn't
What's
get
that?
your definition
I was
of
trying to get away
spirituality.
from yeah, yeah. Look, you can see by my eyes, I did not like that because my plan didn't work.
Well, you're always prepared.
Oh, you mean you're always prepared to see if I'm trying to run game on you? No.
See, I never thought about that.
Mhm. Out there, the old saying is all men are trying to run game on women.
Not all of
And
them.
of course, today, young folks, the young guys are saying it's the women are
Yeah.
running
I was getting
games
ready to say both
on
now,
them. So
both
it's,
nowadays,
it's
but
always been
not
both.
everybody
It's
is doing
always been
it.
both. My
Yes.
observation since I was young, since this is something that
Yeah.
has really moved out of me, we've always have had power play between one another, especially
Absolutely.
in the black community between one
Yes.
another. And we, in that lack of friendship and self-hate that comes from what racism
Hmm.
did, has a lot to do with it. But
Yes.
balance relationship and thriving relationship, healthy relationship is all about trying to break through that
Hmm.
and bring something new and hopefully something different. Or some people say it's already been there before, where we are able to relate in a friendly way, in a way that we
Yes.
really care about it. And now we're finding out in a spiritual way, in a
Absolutely.
spiritual way, whether it's in
Yes.
nature or in this particular case, with it's one another, or you feel that it was came through your religious vows.
Hmm.
But the bottom line is that you're using, in this case, we're talking about spirituality as one of the way to connect through your environment. Um, 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 I guess spiritually wise to connect you to you in that other particular version or other
Right.
persons. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my answer. I'm trying to milk the time here. I would say
Take it right down to the
I
wire.
right to the wire. Spirituality to me is a name that came to me years ago that described who I was as a person, that described my character, that described what I believe was always in the background, presenting me those things that folks looked at but didn't see, things they saw but didn't look at. Some people say behind the curtain, so many
Hmm.
words. And out of that, a name was clearly given to me that I believe was spiritual wise. And so spirituality to me, using all these definitions outside relationships, it really comes back to me as a human being, to me as I also say a spirit in the body that goes to the
Right.
machine. So to me, spirituality is really the name Imar.
Mm. Okay.
IMAR. Imar is spirituality to me.
Yes.
That is what I feel my spirit name represents, Imar, and who I am. And Imar, for those who want to know, is a Swahili word for strong and assertive. So that is spirituality to me. That is spirituality. My name, Imar. And that's what I was moving to.
Wonderful. See? And guess what?
Oh,
You pretty much took it down to the wire.
oh wow. I
That
didn't
was
even see.
good. That was good. That was
I wasn't really planning to,
interesting.
but
Yes.
yeah.
But, well, we will continue with our SRE next week, spirituality, relationships, and environment,
Mm-hmm.
and looking at the question of, does environment affect your relationship? Until next week,
God bless. Ashe. And
mm,
continue to take that journey together.
together.